Ever wondered why some people look effortless when they run, while you struggle with every step? It's common, and it means you're not running as fast as you could. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system to fix your running form right now so you can start to run faster with less effort. And it has already helped more than 100 runners go from running like this to running like this. To start, I'm going to show you how to get faster without having to film yourself. And this step is so powerful that it helped one of my clients run 15 seconds faster per kilometer on their very next run. So the biggest problem whenever I work with clients on their running form is that they have to film themselves first. And that can be a big issue for a lot of people. So if you want to fix your running form but hate filming yourself, let me show you exactly how to find out how you run in just 30 seconds without using a single video clip. Alright, so this is a pair of my new racing shoes. And this is a pair of my old racing shoes. Do you notice any difference? As you can see, the shoe that I've raced in is completely worn down, and that wear and tear gives you clues to how you run. So let me show you how to look at your own shoes to find out exactly how you're running. So in the perfect world, we want the wear and tear to start in the middle here on the outside and then finish near the big toe, because that's where you get the best control and push off. Now, there are 3 patterns I see all the time with my clients, and each one usually points to a specific problem. So the first pattern is a worn shoe here on the inside. This usually means that you're rotating your feet outwards, and for some people, especially women, it could just be how you're built. But for most people, it's because their muscles on the outside of the hips are too tight. So if that's you, working on your hip abductors with something like 3x10 lying hip abductions 3 times per week for about 6 weeks can make a huge difference. You can also try a simple mental cue like feet straight ahead on easy runs. The second pattern I see is a hole right here at the top of your shoe, right above your big toe. If that's you, then you're probably clawing with your toes in the air, and that wastes energy, and I've seen it cause shin splints in a lot of runners. So to fix that, focus on relaxing your feet and toes when they are in the air. It worked for me to do some walking lunges where I tried to relax the feet, even though it was extremely hard at first. The third pattern I see is wear and tear here on the heels. This usually means that you're landing out in front of your body, which is causing you to brake with every step. This is also called an overstride. To fix that, I want you to try this simple mental cue the next time you go for a run. Imagine that you've stepped in some chewing gum, and now you're trying to wipe it off the ground with every step. That single mental cue has helped more runners than I can count run faster with less effort on their very next run. Now, let me show you how to gain even more free speed with the next step in my system, and it has been my secret weapon for years. So here's the problem. 2 runners can look identical on video, but one gets free speed from their tendons and the other has to fight for every step. So how do you figure out which one you are, and more importantly, how can you use that to your advantage? Well, let me show you. So think of your legs like springs. If your tendons are stiff and elastic, they store and return energy easily. If they're softer, they return energy poorly, and you have to rely more on your muscles to keep the same pace. Coaches call these passive or springy runners and active or muscular runners. So to find out which one of these runners are most like you, I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Compared to others, are you faster on a hard surface like asphalt or on a soft surface like dirt or grass? If hard ground makes you feel bouncier and faster, you're more spring-based. But if soft ground feels better and you still move well, you're more muscle-based. So what does that mean for you if you want to run faster? Let me show you this simple protocol that has been my secret weapon for years and has helped more of my clients than I can count get significantly faster in just a matter of weeks. So if you race on roads but you're muscle-based, you're leaving speed on the table and you'll usually feel more beat up late in races. So to fix that, I want you to train your springs with simple ankle hops. Start by doing 5 times 10 seconds 3 days per week. And then over the next 5 weeks, build to 5 times 50 seconds. Keep the jumps small and snappy. It should not be a hard workout. But most people fail here because you can't learn everything from your shoes alone and a simple question. But when you do this next step, it will help you find the missing pieces to fully optimize your running form. So here's the problem. If you only ever film yourself or watch yourself running from the side, you might be missing the real reason you're not getting faster. You see, side views can show overstriding, but it won't show if you're wasting any energy moving from side to side. It's like only checking yourself in the mirror from the front before you go on a first date. You're feeling confident, but you're having a price tag hanging off the back of your shirt. That totally never happened to me. So here's how to film properly and what to look for. I want you to film yourself from 3 different angles. From the side, from the back, and from the front. Put your phone at about the height of your hips if you can. Then set it to slow motion and run past it twice at a comfortable but steady speed. But what do you do with that footage? Well, let me show you 3 of the most common mistakes I see so that you can check if you are doing the same. So if your foot lands in front of your hip, you're basically braking with every step. You want to land underneath your hips right here. To do that, just imagine you're wiping gum off your shoe with every step or that you're falling forward. The next mistake I see is this. If you bend at the waist, your hips can't extend that well. And extending your hips behind you is where most of your speed comes from. So to fix that, I want you to imagine that you have a puppet string that is pulling your head up so you're running tall. Then have a slight forward lean from the ankles, but not from the waist. And if we take a look at the back here, if your feet cross over the center line, you're basically wasting energy moving from side to side. So to fix this, I want you to try to run on a line. It's easiest on a track, but it can be any line. And then your feet are allowed to touch the line, but you can't cross it. But even if you find something that is holding you back, most people fail here, because if they don't get better with any of these simple form cues, they just give up. But when you do this next step, you can actually find the underlying issue and fix it for good, so every run you do going forward will be faster. So seeing the problem is not the same as knowing how to fix it. If you're overstriding, for example, and none of the cues work, it's because overstriding isn't the problem. It's the symptom. So here's how to find out what's actually causing it. Now, the easiest way to think about it is like this. When you go to the doctor, you don't just walk in and say, I feel sick, and walk out with a perfect solution. The doctor will run you through a checklist, one thing at a time, until they find the exact cause that is making you sick. Because if they treat the wrong thing, it doesn't fix anything. And that's exactly what you're going to do with your running form. Every time you find a problem, I want you to run this 3-step process. First, confirm the symptom. So for example, if you think you're overstriding, look at your video, do a freeze frame, and see if your foot is actually landing clearly in front of your hips. Next, you find the cause by looking at one joint at a time. So start at the foot, then move on to the knee, and then finally the hip. At each joint, ask one simple question. Is this joint doing something that helps you move forward or stay neutral, or does it slow you down? So for example, are you extending your knee so your foot lands in front of you? Then that is slowing you down. And then you just run one experiment every 3 to 4 weeks. So pick one thing to work on and stick with it. Don't try to do 5 things at once. Then after 4 weeks, film yourself again and move on to the next thing. Now that you know that, let me show you how to avoid getting injured when you're trying to fix these things. So when the runners I work with learn about all the things they can optimize, they usually want to fix everything at once. But that's a bad idea. And it's simply because form changes cost mental energy, and they load your tissues in new ways. And that's how you end up with extreme fatigue or even worse, an injury. So how do you change your form safely and get faster? Well, when I first tried to fix my running form, my heart rate would spike by 10 or 20 beats even though I was getting better from a mechanical perspective. But because I needed to improve fast, my coach came up with a solution that worked so well that within 8 weeks, my running looked completely different and I was running a lot faster. And since then, I've used the exact same process to help my runners improve faster and with less risk of injury. So here's how to do the same. Practice the thing you want to work on in short intervals inside of easy runs. So start with 6 times 30 seconds running in this new way, with 60 to 90 seconds normal running in between. Do that 2 to 3 times per week, and then each week add 10 to 15 seconds to the form portion until you can hold it for about 10 to 15 minutes in total. After about 6 to 8 weeks, it'll start to feel normal. If your heart rate spikes or anything feels extremely sore, then cut the volume in half and build slower. So now you've learned exactly how to fix your running form so that you can gain free speed. But here's the thing. If you don't know how to breathe properly, you'll never get a truly great form and you'll never be able to run as fast as you're capable of. So go watch this video next, where I'll show you exactly how to breathe to make running feel easier and run so fast it feels illegal.